Hello and welcome back to Havoc, and we're here once again fighting the Hongueros clan and their faction. So here we go, we actually have another clan wanting to join us, and what I'm actually going to do in this episode, and maybe the next one, I'm actually not sure whether there will be 1, 2, maybe 3 more. We're going to see what happens, because here's the thing, I'm going to declare war on everyone. Yeah, everyone that has a fief, at the very least. Everyone that has a fief, everyone that has some kind of substantial combat strength, I will be declaring war against them, and we will see how that goes. Because for me personally, I'd like to see how that goes. I think a lot of people would like to see that too. I know that some few people actually did say that in the comments. You did actually say, oh, what happens if you declare war on everyone? Because obviously you're doing pretty well at the moment, talking to me, of course, and yeah, I actually agree. Let's do it. So we're going to be welcoming the Elashes clan. Welcome them. They have now joined us, and a civil war has broken out, and they've lost Vostrum. Well, that's amusing. Huh. That's actually, I actually, what, how does that work even? Because, I don't know whether you've noticed this, but, these guys are exactly the same faction. These are the exact same vassals that were a part of the faction that we were at war against. And they have now created their very own rebel faction, rebellion, whatever you want to call it, and they're also a part of it, which is really, really weird to me. I'm actually not entirely sure how this is supposed to work, but okay, fine. I guess you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to give a fief to our new friends, the Elashes clan, because they obviously have nothing at the moment, so I'm going to give them... I have to give them something good, right? Yeah, I have to give them something good. So we're going to be giving them... I need to give them something that isn't terribly bad in terms of loyalty. This one's pretty decent in loyalty. It's got 90, so... It's got 0 food, though. That is a bit of a problem, isn't it? Yeah, I probably need to take a bunch of people out of there and maybe actually donate some food to the marketplace, to be honest. Okay, well, let's just keep that for ourselves for the moment, because I really don't want to give a crisis situation over to this new clan who we have no idea about. You know, they might mess it up or something like that. Anyway, let me see what I can do here. What about Lysamork? Lysamork's actually really, really stable, although it has 77 loyalty, amazingly enough. Actually not sure why that is. We have so much really good loyalty policies and everything, but apparently there are some problems in terms of the owner's culture, which of course is me, so yeah, we might have to do something about that. I could give them Dinar Castle. Well, its food is pretty awful, as you can see right there. Its prosperity is not doing so well. I could give them that, or I could literally just give them Odok, which I will probably just end up doing, so that's exactly what we're going to do right there. And I will be heading back there right now. Let's actually just go into Vostrum real fast. And what I'm going to do is we're going to sell all of my loot real fast. And then what we're going to do is just literally buy every single piece of fish that they have available here. And I will buy quite a bit of grain as well. I'm going to buy a lot of it, actually. Maybe all of it. Yeah, you know what? I will buy all of it. I have enough space. I actually thought I wouldn't have enough space. That's why I was being a little cautious. And so what we're going to do is we're literally going to go all the way back to Odok right now. Who's this? Viviana is actually still a part of the Hongueros faction. That is real. She's the ruler of... Okay. So the Civil War actually did split them up. Okay, that's actually really interesting. I'm actually thinking, can we make peace? Because they don't have anything that I want anymore. Because I actually wanted to take Vostrum because they had that fief for us, and they don't appear, at the very least, to have anything else. Am I wrong? I don't think so. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna speak to her. We're going to say, hey, can we make peace? I do not have the authority. Our council should... okay. Yeah, it's another one of those, isn't it? Yes, it's another one of those. Okay, so I'm just going to defeat her. I'm actually unsure whether we should let her go. I guess we will? I don't know. It's a bit... It's a bit of a dubious decision right there. I'm not entirely sure whether that's a good idea or whatever, but... Oh well, never mind. Okay, so let's have a look here. I could force peace through, or I could just propose peace to her. I mean, literally, she's the only one in the faction. It makes no sense for us to continue this. So, we're gonna propose peace for 200 influence, and that's exactly what we're gonna do. There we go. So now we have one less, not very useful, is it? But we have one less vassal attacking us, I suppose. Well, a couple of vassals, I guess. Not entirely sure, but yeah. Anyway, we actually had a vote by my council of vassals, and they decided to declare war against this faction over here. This is Adram's faction. As you can see, there's Adram right there. So I'm actually going to go and attack him right away. I'm actually surprised that they're both attacking me at the same time. But this guy's actually kind of damaging. So we're going to go in for a manual battle here on my way back to Odok. And we're going to see how we do. Now, obviously, this is one of the first times that we fought the... What? Okay. I appeared in the rock. Yes, I spawned in to the battlefield inside a rock. Ah, they know my intellectual capacity. Yes, it is that of a rock. Very good. Yes, that's a seething commentary, isn't it? Oh, that is a seething self-hatred commentary right there. Nervous laughter to hide my pain. Anyway, let me see what I can do about this guy. Hopefully we're going to be able to win. I think we will. I mean, he's basically caused himself to become stuck in the river. I mean, really. Why does he decide to do such a foolish thing / maneuver? Oh, nice. Oh, that was a nice hit. I love it when I can get those kinds of hits, you know? It's just so satisfying to see the arrow streaming through the air and making contact with an actual target that matters. And I'm obviously talking not about a horse here, because, you know, if you hit a horse, yeah, it can be useful, but it's definitely one of those things where you think to yourself, oh, wow, that really didn't do anything, you know? That was a huge waste. But whenever you're able to get a hit on a troop and actually take them down with one hit, oh, it's really good. It's really, really nice. I mean, it's the same thing with getting like a lance kill or something like that. You know, a couched lance kill. Because for me specifically, I've always found it kind of difficult to get couched lance kills. Especially when it comes to dealing with the AI. Because the AI, they can be so good with their timing when it comes to defending against enemy cavalry, and that's of course if they have a polearm. You know, if they have a polearm, you might as well just kiss your chances goodbye of being able to eliminate these guys with a couch lance, unless, and here's the big caveat here, unless your polearm is long enough that you're going to be able to hit them way before they extend theirs, because obviously the extension and in the action of extending their arm, they're going to have a longer polearm than possibly you might have at that point. Unless you've actually, you know, done your research and seen exactly what length most enemy infantry, spearmen, whatever, you know, are using. And in which case, well, good on you, you know, good on you. And then obviously you have to take into account the fact that these guys are literally going to extend their arm, so you've got to also take into account that. So you're not only dealing with the reach that the polearms have by default, you're also dealing with the reach that happens when they extend their arm outward in front of them. And as I've said before, the AI just has wonderful timing. So if you have a polearm that is far and away much longer than, you know, than the estimate, you know, sort of like approximate sort of thing going on there, then great. That's absolutely fantastic. But for me specifically, I've always had problems with that because they always extend their arm at the exact right moment and mostly kill me. And that's with couch lancing, of course. And I don't necessarily have the longest pole arms at that time, so it could very well be the case that I just need to find one that actually does the job that I want it to do. But oh, don't even watch this right now. Oh, there we go. Now you can look at that. Yeah, that was an absolutely terrible display of hitting that tree, hitting that nothing, hitting the air, and yes, what did the air ever do to me? It doesn't have enough O2 in it. I don't know. Too much nitrogen. Yes, I'm obviously just talking nonsense right here, but yeah, there you go. Anyway, we were able to achieve victory against the leader of the enemy faction. That is indeed the leader. And I'm actually wondering whether I should take him prisoner and just leave him there, basically. Just leave him in my prisoner's hold until doomsday, basically. We want him to remain there as long as we possibly can hold him. So I'm actually going to be taking him for the moment. And we're going to be leveling up our forces here as well. And then just moving on. I think I might just literally take the experience here as well, just so that I can level up my forces just that much quicker. And yeah, I'm actually going to be doing a little bit of recruiting along the way as well, because I have started to hemorrhage units in many of these sieges. Because obviously I go into the siege, I'm bound to lose a couple of people due to various things. Look at this, my forces are actually declaring war without me. Look at this. Right now we are stronger than the Delentos. We should strike while we can. And you can see here, they actually have 5 towns available for us to take. And I am going to say yes to this, okay? So any single time my people think to themselves, let's declare war, I will agree with them, okay? That's the new rule that I have now instituted. And if they do not declare war by the time I get to Odok with all of the other factions that actually have any semblance of combat strength, then I will be doing that myself. I will be declaring war against every single, you know, relatively strong faction in the game. The entirety of the strong of Calradia, I guess you could call them. Anyway, let's move on to Odok. I have so much food that no doubt that particular crisis is going to resolve itself, or I very much hope that it will. So let's go in here. Do they have food yet? No, they still do not have food. They have 0 food, but they have reduced their problem by 5, which is pretty nice to see. Anyway, let's just donate. Wait a minute. They have a bunch of grain. They have a bunch of grain in here. What are they doing then? What are they doing? Oh, well, whatever the case, I'm just going to give them a bunch of fish as well, and hopefully that's going to make a bit of a difference over time. Maybe it's just a case of them, I don't know, maybe there's just a few days that they have to wait for that to actually take effect. Maybe that's what's going on there. Anyway, yeah, one more thing that I need to do before we declare war against everyone is that I need to sell all of my prisoners. And so let's ransom all of them, with the exception of Adram himself. I'm actually going to lock that guy, and then I'll just transfer the rest. 4,300, pretty nice. And I think we're good, right? Yeah, I think we're good. Okay, so let's do this, shall we? No, not this. Yeah, there we go. Diplomacy screen. Okay, so this, I basically, okay, here's the thing. Any single time a faction has a fief, I will declare war against that faction. Otherwise, I will ignore them, and that is exactly what we're going to do. So let's have a look here. This guy, okay, they have one town, so we're going to declare war on them. Bear in mind, I can only declare war against another 10 factions, because I don't have enough influence otherwise. So do bear that in mind. Now let's just see. Aha, these guys, yep, we'll declare war against them, and we will... This is very reckless, by the way. If you literally want to maximize your chances and give yourself the easiest time possible because you've been having problems so far, then by all means ignore what I'm doing here. Do not do this. But for a series and for entertainment, I feel like this is actually quite fun. So let's see how it goes. I'm actually a bit worried seeing some of these people's combat strength, because if they all work together, we could potentially suffer a pretty miserable defeat in a few ways. Yeah, this guy has 1 town. I guess I will declare war against him. Yeah, why not? Why not? I have 400 left. Naret says, okay, yeah, I don't really want to declare war against this guy, but Falentes is someone that has a lot of castles, and I wouldn't mind trying to persuade him to join us. I mean, we have 2.78 million. I mean, if he has more than that, I'll be very surprised. But anyway, let's just try and declare war against that guy anyway. Anyone else? I only have 300 more influence, so I mean, I could try this guy. He has 1 town, could be pretty easy to take. This guy has 1 town as well, so let's just declare war against him. Oh, this guy's got a whole bunch. Alright, let's declare war against him as well. This guy too. And that is it. That's all I have enough for. So we are now at war against, I don't even know how many factions. But this is going to be kind of interesting. And what we're going to try to do is I will try to speak to Mr. Tassinor. He is the leader. We have 16 relation. I don't think that's going to be enough. But we'll try it out. He might not even speak to us. You see, because here's the thing. Obviously, if he doesn't even speak to us, then we won't even be able to get through to the persuasion menu. So let's see what he says. Nope. All right. Yeah, that's kind of unfortunate, isn't it? Anyway, yeah. So this is what the map currently looks like right now. Look at this. This is actually pretty crazy. All right. Let's see how it goes. Okay, so I've declared war against, I think, 11 factions? I think so? 12? Maybe 11? I'm actually unsure. But quite a few. And that means we should probably get going, shouldn't we? So let's go and try and take the first initial town. This is going to be a bit of, maybe a bit of a speed run. Maybe a bit of a speed run, I'm not entirely sure. I'll definitely need some bottled water to go along with this marathon. And I'm not sure if that is actually going to be enough. I'll probably need multiple bottles. But we'll see, we'll see. Anyway, I actually am unsure whether I should go for a wall-destroying strategy. I think I will go for a wall-destroying strategy. But this is definitely something that I don't really like doing against such a weak garrison. This is a really, really weak garrison. And in my opinion, I could probably just go straight on in there. And I wouldn't have any issues whatsoever. I could literally just go straight on in and probably win this without too many difficulties. But should I just go in? I'm in 2 minds about this right now, because the walls are so minuscule, but the garrison is still very weak. I don't know. I mean, this guy wants to fight us. Hey, come on. The more the merrier. The more the merrier. Come in here. I'm beckoning him with my hand in real life, but you can't see that. So yeah, I don't know. That's a bit cringy, isn't it? Yeah, I should probably save that for the for LARPing whenever that happens. Never. But yes. Anyway, let's actually lead the assault, and let's go straight on in. Let's do this. I'm gonna go for gonna dismount real fast. And then we are going to rush them. Yeah, we are going to rush them very, very fast. I'm just going to follow my forces. We are obviously going to get shot by a whole bunch of fire arrows, which I do not appreciate. But my forces are going to absolutely stomp the enemy into the ground, which is exactly what we want to see. And these guys are literally just running. They are running at the first sign of any problems whatsoever, which is exactly what you would expect them to do. They are outmatched in every single way. And I think I might actually just speed this up in general. It doesn't seem like we're getting too much action ourselves, as my forces are just running them down. And there really isn't much more for me to do. So, there we go. Wonderful experience for our forces, which obviously is partially the main reason why you would want to run in here and actually do this thing manually. You'd want to get your troops as much experience as they can possibly handle. We're going to level these guys up, and then we can get 16,000 here, but bear in mind I did just rescue a whole bunch of troops, so I'm not going to be donating that experience, because those troops are going to be placed in the garrison here to defend it. So let me see what I can do. Let's just do this. There we are. Okay, great. And let's just manage this a little bit. We're just going to basically slap as much money as we can in there. Now, generally, I think someone actually asked me what would happen if you put in, and I'm talking, you know, in your perspective here. So, you know, the person asked me, what would I do if I put in, you know, what would happen if I put in 2 million or 1 million gold into a particular town? Well, that's the thing. As far as I'm aware, I don't think that actually does anything. I think the only thing that putting money into the reserve does is this. It just boosts the project that you're currently building by a certain amount of construction value, and that is flat value. It also obviously reduces the amount of reserve every single day and all that stuff. As far as I'm aware, it doesn't do anything else, but I could be wrong about that, because there might be some hidden mechanism behind the scenes that might actually improve the prosperity of a particular town, or indeed a castle, but I highly doubt that that is the case. I think it generally is just for boosting construction, because if that is true and it does actually increase the prosperity of a town or something like that, then it would make much more sense if you were doing a one town strategy. You know, if you were doing a one town strategy or a one town challenge, as it's known in other games, then you would probably want to sink as much money as possible into that one town so that it would increase its prosperity in an almost exponential fashion. So that would be really, really amazing. And if it does work like that, then great. And I didn't know that, but I don't think it does. But by all means, correct me if you think I'm wrong, because I haven't done testing on that. I really have not done testing on that. I think it would take a long time for me to be able to test that, possibly. But as far as I'm aware, prosperity doesn't change due to it. So anyway, let's just leave Cortesia Castle. I don't see a reason for me to stay here for any other reason. And what we're going to do is I'm going to head on straight into Satros' army here. Actually, should I even go straight into Satros' army, or should I just go straight over to one of these other castles? It might make sense. Actually, you know what? I'm going to be a little brave here and a lot foolish. And what we're going to do is we're going to try and take Danustica. Okay, look at this guy. He's literally trying to take Cortesia right here too. Okay, wait a minute. What just happened here? Okay, Ethan Bold the Brave was taken prisoner by Svanna. I'm actually really surprised that he got himself eliminated. As far as I'm aware, he had a pretty decent army. Did he? Did he have a decent army, or did I just randomly give him nothing? I think I might have given him nothing. I'm not entirely sure, but whatever the case, he is now defeated, and so we now have one less vassal to help us out. I will pay his ransom straight away just to get him released. Zakanus, hello there, sir. Yes, do battle with me, by all means. I will be very, very pleased to welcome you into my open arms as I wield a dagger and, you know, stab him in the back. Because that's what we do, you know. That is the what is it? That is the Roman way, even though we're not really playing Romans. If we were playing Eagle Rising right now, that would make a whole bunch more sense, wouldn't it? Well, when do I ever make sense, though? That's the point. When do I ever make sense? I don't know. Maybe every other word? Maybe every other year? Every other millennia? Any of the above. Any of those. Or neither, or none. Yes, indeed. It's like one of those questionnaires where they basically ask you a bunch of random questions, and then you tick the all of the above box. Then you think to yourself, oh, really? All of the above? Well, then why didn't it just say that to begin with? Oh, well. Whatever the case, me making no sense notwithstanding, we are hopefully going to be able to take 0 casualties here so that I can head into Danustica and take it easily enough. Because bear in mind, this guy actually has some pretty decent units. Look at these guys. They're Imperial elites, no less. I didn't even look at his composition, to be honest. I am actually throwing quite a bit of caution to the wind here. I still have a pretty significant amount of caution in my account, though, so there might be, you know, there might be some left over to continue throwing into the wind, or into the hurricane, or whatever you want to call it. Okay. No, I think we're actually fine. I mean, it seems to me like we're actually fine, but it is very much a case of, well, does it matter if we lose many, many units? Well, it kind of does. I actually don't want to get eliminated here, all things considered. Okay, that was real close. Hopefully I don't get shot. So what I'm actually going to do is I will be a brave, brave individual, and I will make my way over here. Yes, indeed. Hello there. Alright, I'm just going to stand here, and I will just allow my forces to do their thing. And do their thing they did. Oh, yes. Yeah, there's a... What is that thing again that... I think it's ants? Ants do that thing? Oh, now I'm talking about ants. Oh, look at that. How off topic can I be? Anyway, there is a thing that ants do where they get confused about pheromones in the area, and they consistently go in circles. And if this continues, they can actually cause the entire hive, what do they call it? A colony, I guess? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know that much about ants, but anyway, the point is, I know this really obscure fact that I don't know whether anyone else knows, but I think quite a few people know this if they're into that kind of thing, but I know this just randomly. And apparently, what happens is... Oh, I don't even know why I'm talking about this. Yes. Anyway, they get confused by pheromones, and to cut a long story short, they go in circles, and if enough of them actually follow this pheromone trail, they can cause a death spiral to occur, which basically means the end of the colony, because they're all following each other, and they do not bring food back to the colony, and as a result, everything just dies. And that is exactly what my horse archers were doing. Although they weren't dying, they were causing the death. So... yeah, that's what I wanted to compare it towards, because it did look very cool as my horse archers were going around in circles around the opponent. It was basically a death spiral. That's why I wanted to reference that. Anyway, let's just let these guys go. I will not let the Emperor go. I'm going to basically make that a rule now where I keep the Emperor, or the leader prisoner, as that is probably going to make the most sense in regards to weakening the opponent in the way that we want. So that's how I'm going to do things from now on, and there we go. Oh, 46,000 experience. Very nice indeed. So let me actually just take a bunch of loot here just to sell. And once the number becomes once the number becomes white, like it did just now, I will take the rest and just donate the experience, and we will continue the siege. This guy's not going to come in here versus me anymore. Highly doubtful, at least. I would applaud his effort if he did decide to come in here against us, but highly unlikely. Okay, ransom for Uruk. Okay, sure. Yeah, I don't really care. So we've taken a castle. Very nice. Okay, good. I will give this to Ilatar. I guess, actually, you know what? I'm going to give it to Tynops, because he is the leader of, well, he is the owner of Odok, and only Odok, but I'm not entirely sure. I mean, no. I actually think that Tynops should get this, to be honest, because he only has one fief, and it would kind of make sense for him to have an additional one. So that's what we're going to do. I don't even know where Temhem Castle is, to be honest. It's one of those... it's one of those that was added by Cal Radio Expanded, I believe. Okay, so one of the trebuchets has been destroyed. Let me see if I can build that once again. These catapults are actually doing a pretty nice number on us, but bear in mind, I did not do the reserve strategy with the trebuchets this time around. I basically just let them be built organically and allowed them to be attacked as and when they were able to begin fighting back and all that stuff. So I didn't really game the system, as it were. Anyway, let's take a quick look at my perks, because I did get 2 of them, as you can see. So let's have a look here. Defensive siege engines have 30% more hit points. Okay. 30% faster build rate for fortification, aqueduct, and barracks projects. I don't care about any of this, actually. I mean, generally, defensive siege engines having 30% more hit points, that's pretty good. But I don't really care about it that much, so I'm probably just going to take stonecutters. I mean, the other thing, the, aqueducts and all that stuff being increased. And what do we have here? This is in the steward tree. 10% increased carrying capacity for troops. Hmm. And trade penalty for mounts is reduced by 20%. And then what else do we have here? 20% increased carry capacity for pack animals. Probably going to be taking that. And trade penalty for pack animals is reduced by 20%. I don't really care about either of these, to be honest. I guess I will just take the 20% increased carry capacity for pack animals. That seems to maybe make the most sense. I'm not entirely sure really how much that is going to give me in comparison to 10% for troops. I don't know the calculations about that. All I know is that I can carry a bunch of stuff, and that's all I really care about at the end of the day, you know. That is literally the only thing that really matters after all. And whether I can carry 5,000 more or 3,000 more, I don't really mind about that, to be honest. But if you're looking to min-max, then it's probably a good idea to look that up and make sure that you know exactly what's going on there. But for me specifically, I've always found that pack animals are the thing that contributes the most. So if you are looking to find out the best possible thing, I would recommend checking the pack animals. I mean, you can always check it. Like for example, if you save first and then you know take one of the perks and then you check your carry capacity and then you reload and then you take the other one, so you could do it that way. But there's no need really. There's no need. It's such a minor thing that I don't think it really makes that much difference. Anyway, I'm just gonna speed things up real here, and we're hopefully. Can I get another couple of kills with my bow? I'm actually not entirely sure where the remaining units. Hello there. Oh, there's a massive amount. Okay, you are not going to escape, sirs. I'm very sorry. There we go. That guy survived. Can you believe that? Someone survived from a shot by my wonderful, wonderful bow, which I gotta say is probably actually the best bow I think that you can get in the game. Okay, this is this is actually somewhat problematic, amazingly enough. Basically just have to use angles here. Angles is basically the important thing when it comes to using a polearm. Gotta make sure that you hit enemies faster, so I'm trying to make it so that you see that? You see that right there? I'm hitting him from my exact edge of the, well, maybe not the exact edge, but I'm hitting him from the point of my character being in that really weird angle, so that it kind of makes sure that the edge of my swing arc hits him every single time. So generally I'm trying to make that work, and that's generally what I've tried to do, because obviously I have a very low athletic skill, so having a low athletic skill definitely makes a big difference in how I move during combat. Because obviously if you're having a low athletic skill, you really have very little mobility. It's very difficult to actually get space and to get distance away from enemy units that actually have a decent amount of athletic skill. And you really just want to make sure you have a bit more room to maneuver. We're getting some nice kills right here. And surprisingly enough, actually getting some decent proficiency in the process. This is actually one of the best ways to get skills. I mean, yeah, kind of, duh, you know, it's kind of one of those moments again, isn't it? Anyway, there we are. We actually lost a whole bunch more units than I would have expected, but I assume the garrison was pretty good here. I mean, I would expect that, considering Danustica, I think, is one of their best towns, or maybe their only town. And that might be the reason why they're defending it so heavily. We're going to donate all the experience once again. I'm going to be claiming the fief once more, obviously, because I want to place all of these units in the garrison here. And we are also going to be donating it. We're going to be donating it to someone. I'm not entirely sure who just yet, but we are definitely going to be donating it to someone or another. So let's actually just donate a whole bunch of money right there, and then we're just going to queue up a bunch of things too, because the loyalty is actually not too bad as it stands, even though the owner culture is a -3. So I could potentially just give this to anyone, and they're going to do a pretty decent job at handling it. So is there anything else I want to do here? Well, I can ransom my prisoners, but obviously I just have these two. And I didn't take the rest because I personally don't really care too much about prisoners. They don't tend to give us that much money anymore. I mean, at the moment we're kind of doing okay in terms of cash. And if I want to make cash, I can just take more loot. I mean, look at that, 30,000. I can also sell this. I mean, literally 112,000 I can get just from my weapons. And if I wanted to, of course, I could literally go into the smithy and I could make two-handed swords and I could sell those for an exuberant price. And then, boom, I'll have another 500,000 or something like that. So yeah, that kind of thing can happen pretty easily. Anyway, I'm gonna see which clan I should give Danustica to. I'm actually wondering whether I should just give it to Tynops because he is actually the same. I mean, it kind of makes sense, right? He is the same culture, because this is an Empire culture fief, and he needs another one. We can make peace. Wait a minute, we have too many... Are you serious? No. We are not making peace, you imbecile. I mean, it's a... No, I mean, I shouldn't call him an imbecile, because he's actually right. He is 100% correct, but I did not want to do that, because, I mean, that's the whole point of why we did this, to be honest, so... Let's go and give this to Tynops. Actually, Griff's clan only has one fief? Why does he only have one fief? Did he lose something? He must have lost something, right? Yeah, I assume he lost something because we are at war against so many people and it's impossible for them to defend against such a large array of units, I suppose. So that's probably the case. Anyway, it seems like Mitunis is currently defending this town. I'm actually surprised that this town is having any issues whatsoever because as far as I am aware, it had a pretty significant garrison inside it, but I could be wrong about that. Anyway, I think that's probably going to be it for this episode. I thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.